Thank you for joining me for part 2 of my What Sold in this little What Sold series. These are sales that are spanning over about 2 to 3 weeks. It's not everything I sold, but it's some different things just to share with you so you can see what's selling and if you might be able to find these things as well. And I have a fair amount of different things to show you. There will be a part 3 that I will work on next, and once that is available, I will link that down in the description along with part 1 for you. But otherwise, we're just gonna get moving right away because it's number 2. This is a Disney Store Moana Talking Maui doll figure, light up fishhook 12-inch. It is completely working, and I took a best offer of $28 for this, and it was easy to pack and ship. I had it as priority mail, so I was able to fit it nicely in a big priority box. And was it decent? I think I paid a couple bucks for it, or I think I paid $1 for this guy. And this is brand new Bernat, I'm not sure how to say it. Big blanket yarn, midnight white, 100% polyester. It's a lot of 2. I took a best offer of $15 for this. I bought this along with a bunch of other yarn that filled a big, large tote from a person. And so I have a couple bucks into this lot. I love buying yarn, but I really will only buy it if it's multiple skeins of the same. So I don't like to sell singles because they sit forever and it's just not really cost effective because you also have to factor in shipping and things like that. But I have a couple bucks in this and it sold for $15, so not too bad. This is a Grease original motion picture soundtrack, and I sold this for a best offer of $10. And this is also a PSA to check your listings periodically because I actually got a message from a buyer asking me that, if what they were looking at was right, because I listed a Grease and a Michael Jackson record in the same day, and I'd managed to take out half of the pictures for the Grease and put in half for Michael Jackson. So it looked like the buyer didn't know because I showed a Grease picture, but I had a Michael Jackson record with it. So they asked me about it. And so I went in and I completely ended the listing, and the buyer was really interested in this, and I just want to tell you what I did. They kept telling me that they didn't mind if I fixed the listing, that they would buy it as long as it had the Grease records. But personally, I was really uncomfortable with that because having the pictures of the items is part of your protection to say this is what you sent, and I didn't want some sort of item not as described saying I thought I was getting a Grease and a Michael Jackson record. So even though the buyer was nice, I told them that they just had to wait for a couple hours until I could retake pictures and repost it. And they did, and they made an offer of $10, and I think I have $1 into this. This is St. Pius Daily Missal Latin English 1961. Nothing special here, guys. I probably paid $1 for it and sold it for $18. Took a month or so to sell. This is one of those items that, again, you guys have heard me talk about. There are items you never ever want to see again. This little thing is one of them. It's been listed for years. I have no idea where it came from. I have no idea what I paid for it. I know nothing. It's glass condiment mustard spice jar with mouse serving spoon, Sheffield, England. I don't know. I don't even know how I listed this because when I looked at the item, I didn't see Sheffield, England on it. Sheffield, I have no idea. But it's multiple years old and now it's out the door, so I can move on to other stuff. Yeah, it's a decent sale-ish. This is the Tajweed Kanan with meaning translation in English and transliteration. I bought this for $3 at a Goodwill. I've sold the pocket version of this really fast. It always sells quickly, this, and it sold for $29, the full asking price. And again, a week or so, so it was definitely worth the profit on that, and they always go quick. So this one I wanted to talk about because I did have a comment asking about what site I used to check prices, and so I wanted to show you both. And so this is a Wedgewood blue on white cigarette Jasperware tobacco jar reverse. So these ones in particular can be hard to look for because you'll go into type into eBay and you'll be like blue white Wedgewood, and then you'll get all of the pale blue white that you're used to seeing, the typical stuff. And so reverse is what a lot of people refer to this as. And I found that this tobacco jar in particular was not as common as other ones. And so I looked on, so I will always look at what's available. I will look at the last 90 days to try to find a price. If I really am not having luck there, or I don't feel like it's quite right, the price, maybe it's too low or it's too high, something like that, then I will look into Terapeak. And Terapeak you can get to when you go into eBay on your page and you go to the research tab here. It'll pull up Terapeak, and so all I typed into my search bar was Wedgewood white blue tobacco jar. And then I just went down and tried to look. So here, this one is not the same. This is Queensware, it is different. And so you can tell there are not a lot of pictures available. We're not seeing quite what I have. This is the blue, typical blue you'd see. That sold for $21. That's not what we're looking for. And then I do see this one here that's Wedgewood blue on white, Queensware Jasperware tobacco jar and ashtray. I think that's the same thing. Yeah, because Queensware is this guy. I think it's, I don't think it's quite the same. It might be. But either way, it sold for $50. But other than that, all I'm seeing are, we have the typical coloring you see, another one of those typical colorings. I'm really not seeing any of the white or blue. So it's hard to tell. This is not the same thing here. And then you can see mine here that sold recently because I took a best offer of $80. So when I'm not seeing what I am looking for, so I went into Worth Point for this one. And here on this, I just pulled up on Worth Point. I know Worth Point can be a little weird about showing their system because, again, it's a paid service. So I just was going to show you a little bit. So I went on to Worth Point and did that same search and looked through, and I found other solds. So here's my personal sold here. Heads up, they do not do they don't show the best offer. So this is showing as it sold for 100 and it actually sold for 80. So do keep that in mind. But I found a couple of others here. That's the white Wedgewood Jasperware tobacco jar. And I could see that this one sold for $81 in 2013. And then we have one other one that sold for $105 in 2019. So again, yes, these are, you know, quite a while ago. So you do have to factor in that, but it's still a desirable piece and a desirable coloring. So I just priced it up high and then took best offers. So do keep that in mind. Worth Point, I think I paid $29 a month for it. I don't know that I will keep it forever during especially the cold months because it is expensive. So just as something to keep a thought out for, guys. So this is Pokemon Official Nintendo Power Player's Guide, 1998 book with all stickers. I wanted to keep this. I paid $1 for this along with a bunch of other Nintendo Powers, and I priced it up pretty high in hopes that maybe it wouldn't sell, but it did. So I'm happy it sold. It sold for a very good price, so that does make me feel better. But yeah, I had to show you, like, look, it has all the stickers. It's fabulous. So that did sell for full asking price and went international. This is Black Rifle Coffee Company T-shirt, Tomahawk Men's XXL. I got a whole bunch of these Black Rifle shirts for a quarter. They were all basically brand new, but without like an actual tag on them. And that did sell for the $20. This person bought Thinner by Richard Bachman, who is Stephen King. It's a true first edition, first printing, and I took a best offer of 100 on this one because the person did buy, I think, 5 other Stephen King books. I'm not showing you all those because they were the typical lower dollar Stephen King ones, the newer ones, but they bought this along with those all in a little package deal, and so the buyer was very happy with everything. This is a Wedgewood green Jasperware cherub plate dish 9-inch, and I sent a best offer of $22 for it. I got this in my big auction lot. It came along with that other Wedgewood tobacco jar as well. And I'm trying to think, I have $5 to $10 into each Wedgewood piece. It just depends how many. I think I have a little bit more to list, so it, the price goes down as I list with each lot, but some are worth a lot, some are big money profits and some are just decent profits. So that's like this one. This is The Black Hope Horror, the true story of a haunting by William Shoemaker, as is. It had staining. It was not in perfect condition. It did have a decent dust jacket and cover, but not in great condition. It sold for $25 with free shipping, so I did try free shipping out quite a while ago, and then I'm just letting those things sell as they do. And I think I paid $1 for this at a Salvation Army probably 6+ months ago. Here is another Polly Pocket. This is the oldest of my Polly Pockets that I got, and it's complete 1989 Polly Pocket Midges Play School set with Midge Baby Car. And it sold for $45, the full asking price, and I have about $7 into this lot, and just a great easy profit. It was such a fun lot having all these Polly Pockets. This is Brass Horses Wall Hooks Equestrian Decor Key Hanger Holder Western Ranch. So just a whole bunch of keywords there, guys. That's just a mouthful. I did a best offer of $16 on this. I think I paid $2 for this at a garage sale, so not a huge profit, but pretty decent for me because it was really easy and doesn't shatter. This I paid $1 for at a garage sale, and it took a month or 2 to sell. It's K & Company Scrapbook Kit 8.5 by 8.5, and it was new, hadn't been used, and it just had all the pieces so that someone could make their own scrapbook and have all the stuff for it and not have to kind of design it themselves. And it sold for 15 bucks, and it was easy to list and ship. This is Oneida Silvertone Bordeaux Salad Forks, lot of 4. This was a great sale. This was $40 for these 4 forks. I got these at an estate sale where there wasn't a lot, and so I found a few pieces of clothing and then a fistful of Oneida silverware. And I have loved selling silverware, guys. It's not all big money, but I mean, when you can sell 4 forks for $40, it's a pretty awesome day. And I am just really enjoying selling it. It's amazing to me. And I do like parting it out. I don't like to sell it all in one big lot unless it's just not worth it to part out. So as long as I can sell a set of 4 for, 10+ bucks, I'm cool with that. And I'm happy to do them separately. Especially because I really don't find full sets. I think it might be a different case if I found full sets of silverware. And this is, you've seen my hardware before. I think you've probably seen this exact one. Just Amarok lot of 8 offset H-hinge antique copper style cabinet cupboard vintage. Sold for 15 bucks. I bought this in a big little, like a tin of all of this same stuff. 3 different styles of hinges, I think, for 10 bucks. So I have $1 maybe into this lot, if that. And sold for the full asking price and sold within a couple weeks. This is just Cabela's Men Red Fleece Lined Insulated Denim Jeans, size 34-30. These I think I picked up at a thrift store when they were having a sale for $2. Sold for the full asking price, and they took probably 6 months to sell, but they're selling because it's getting into the colder season, so it was easy and worth the wait for me. This is a Christopher Radko Christmas Tree Brooch Rhinestones Gold Tone Vintage. I took best offer of $12 for this. It took maybe 2 days to sell, so I was happy to just take the quick profit, maybe a dollar or two into it. This is David Bowie Let's Dance vinyl, and this I took or sent a best offer for $14. I have $1 in this. I got it at a thrift store probably 5 to 6 months ago, and it was in absolutely beautiful condition and just took a fair amount of time to sell, which is no big deal. This one's super fun. This is a Cork anti-diarrheal joke gag gift, White Elephant, 1998. This is proof that you really can sell pretty much anything. This is literally just a cork in a box. If you shook it, you could hear it. It's just a single cork in a box. And it sold for $13, guys. It was a sealed box with a cork in it. And I paid, I think, $1 for this. It took a few months to sell, but come on, this is great. Those are some of my favorite sales. Even though they're not the biggest money, they're hilarious. This, I think I paid $5 for this in an estate sale, so I paid too much, but it's a Holy Bible Masonic Edition 1951 John Wesley Kelchner illustrated. I took a best offer of $15, so I still made profit, but not a really big profit on this guy. This is a vintage Nike Swish Just Do It leather black snapback hat cap. See all pics as is. I took a best offer, $20. I couldn't find anything like it, so I just slapped up a price on it of $35. I have 8 cents, I think this was in my bulk hat buy, and the buyer ended up being really happy with it, so I'm totally cool with what I got for it. Oh, I'm in here. Sorry, person just walked in, but back to what we were doing. This is Tim Tam's Flexi Wire Cake Maternity and Nursing Bra Taupe color. I got this at a sale where everything was $1. I took a best offer of $20 for it. Yeah, it was fine with me, and it had tags and everything, so it was new. This is a lot of 2 2016 5-night at Freddy's Fazbear Plush, and I sold these on Poshmark. I sold them for $21. I have $2 into this lot. I haven't double checked, but I know that I've heard that there's a movie coming out, so I know that's going to help with 5-night at Freddy's sales. I always pick them up if they're cheap, and I just lotted these two together because they're typically $8 to $10 plush. So I had them both, so I just lotted them up together. And this is Starbucks Reserves Set 3 Ceramic Demi Espresso Cup. And this is a gift box from 2019. I don't actually think it was released to the public, but I paid $2 for this at a yard sale, and it sold on Poshmark for $80. These are adorable. This is Folkmanis Folk Tales 3 Baby Robin Birds in Nest Plush Finger Hand Puppet. Just super cute. I paid about $1 for it. It sold on Poshmark for $16. I really love Folkmanis, and this is one of the cutest ones I've seen for sure. I sold this one and the next one in one lot on Poshmark. They bundled them. And this is signed, Seems Like I Done It That Away, Cleo Styles. And it was this one that sold for $35, along with this one that sold for $35. Seems Like I Done It That Away, Cleo Styles, OK Land Run Edition. So this was a 3rd edition. I think the other one was a 2nd edition, and both were signed. I do have a deal on my Poshmark where if you buy 2 or more items, you do get a discount. So they did get 15% off of that total price. And I paid, I think, $2 each for them at a thrift store. And then last but not least is Frenchiopoly French Bulldog Family Board Game Monopoly Dogs, new sealed C-pick because there is some tears in the seal. And this is another reason why I say it's good to cross list, because this would have sold for maybe $8, if that, on eBay. But I know that the shipping is a little more affordable on Poshmark and just not as saturated, and so it sold for $14 on Poshmark. So thank you for joining me for part 2, and I look forward to seeing you on part 3.